South Jamaica, baby, they made me to be the greatest. Serving the deed of my creators, fresh off of my high haters. It's the king again, Magdalene, chauffeured, bragging and boasting.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Dollars. It's another day, another dollar video. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to be reacting to scary TikToks that keep me up at night, part 4. This is a series I've been doing lately that I enjoy. A bunch of compilations of scary TikToks. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments. Also, make sure y'all drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe so you can stay tuned whenever I drop another video. But you could also check my playlist if you just want to watch these specifically, because I know a lot of people watch me for specific type of videos. Like some of y'all only watch me for music. Some of y'all only watch me for movies. Some of y'all only watch me for trailers. So I have a whole playlist where you could watch specific content. And yeah, man, without further ado, let's hop right into this.
Shadow people explained. Shadow people are 2D entities. With no real features, they're just kind of pitch black. Most people say shadow people get into your home via a portal, which most often is a mirror. The theory goes that shadow people used to be human beings, but there were also some that weren't humans.
Listen, I don't know why that music is scaring me the way it is. That music shouldn't be scaring me as much as it is right now, bro. It just sounds creepy, along with the narration of shadow people, bro.
Their personalities and what they may do can vary, but they're all pretty much very intelligent. Although if they are spotted by humans, they most often will flee. Another explanation for what these things are sleep paralysis hallucinations, which makes this less of a supernatural thing and more of a scientific thing. But also some people think they're aliens, so who knows.
Yeah, that was creeping me out.
A man in a graveyard caught something horrifying on camera. In this video, a man takes a camera with him into a cemetery at night because he heard the sound of a young girl crying from the graveyard near his house. As he enters the cemetery, he is visibly scared, and keeps telling himself that he is an idiot for putting himself in this situation.
A girl crying in the cemetery at 12 a.m., bro, and you really gonna go there by yourself? Some people just be asking for it, bro. Like, they be asking for trouble.
He spots the girl.
I'ma just mind my business. I'm a New Yorker.
Amiga. Niña. Ay, no seas imbécil. Venga, güey. Venga, güey.
You can hardly see anything.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 26. Atoms are 99% nothing, which makes us 99% nothing as well. Also, if you come in contact with someone or something, you're not actually touching them. You're simply sensing the repulsion between your atoms and theirs. You can get bed bugs from movie theater seats.
Hey, yo.
In 1386, a French pig was publicly executed for the murder of a child. The pig was given full legal representation and provided human clothes for the trial.
What?
A 7-year-old South African girl is more likely to be raped than to receive an education. In the 1950s, many...
Oh, wow. When he said facts that you don't want to know, he wasn't lying, bro. I don't think that was a fact that I really want to know, because that's like so messed up. That's crazy, bro. Like... And then I don't want to say that we shouldn't know, because he's bringing awareness, right? Like, we should be aware of things like that. But it's like, it's just still messed up. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I just know that that's messed up, and I hope it changes. I hope things like that don't happen, man. But
many babies in orphanages didn't cry very often because they knew their cries wouldn't be answered. Hans Langseth, the man with the longest beard in history, died when he tripped over it and cracked his neck. The maximum prison sentence in Brazil is 30 years, meaning that mass murderers like Pedro Rodrigues Filho, who killed over 100 people, are walking free today.
Nah, that's messed up.
Disturbing moments caught at McDonald's. This woman, fed up with waiting for her food at a McDonald's, begins trashing the store and throwing things at the staff behind the counter. She starts by simply looking fed up before the clip cuts, and she comes in from off camera. She throws a bucket, containers, wet floor signs, and more. All we can see are other guests trying to get away from her and the employees trying to scramble out of the line of fire.
How's that scary? Why was that even
These
included?
twins barely spoke to anyone but each other. As children, their parents quickly noticed that Jennifer and June Gibbons weren't like the other kids. They were unusually inseparable and even created their own language. By their teens, they were even mirroring each other's actions. They would move and walk exactly alike. But even after seeing specialists, no one could figure out what was going on with the girls. One speech therapist noticed that it seemed like June wanted to talk but was controlled by her sister. Their diaries revealed that June felt the same. She called her sister a dark shadow. And Jennifer felt that
Nah, they need to make a movie about this. It's giving me some demonic type of demon twins or some shit, bro. Like, that is creepy. One sister's the evil twin, the other one is the good twin. Like, I don't know. That's wild.
they were fatal enemies. They tried separating the girls, but they rapidly declined into a trance-like state. When they reunited, they withdrew even more and stopped talking to their family almost completely. By the time they were 18, they were rebelling and arrested for arson. They were committed to a maximum security prison where they lived for 12 years. In March 1993, the twins were being transferred to a low security, but when they arrived, Jennifer was unresponsive and pronounced dead at age 29. It seemed like she just fell asleep and never woke up. After this, Jennifer began speaking and interacting with the world as if she had her whole life.
The hell? That's weird.
Scary stories in 60 seconds or less. This
Bring it
mom was
on!
gonna have the night to herself when her older kids went out, so she was totally happy to just curl up on the couch and watch some TV. As the night got later and later, she finally turns the TV off to head upstairs to bed. She was just about to hit the lights when suddenly she noticed something in the kitchen. She swore she saw something run by the kitchen window, but she tried to calm herself down and maybe just convince herself that it was just her reflection she saw. She felt a bit uneasy, but decided to head over to the window to look, but she only got halfway when she heard something. The soft tapping of a finger on the window and a muffled voice from outside saying, "Hi." She stood there completely frozen as her eyes adjusted and she could suddenly make out the outline of a pale-faced man who had been watching her from outside the window. She screamed and ran for the bathroom where she called 911 and they came, but they never found that man, nor did they know what he was planning to do to her.
It's a pretty good
If you've
story.
been following me for a while, you will know that I love creating patterns, but I've been wanting to animate.
You know, it's shit like that that makes me appreciate living in New York City where we got skyscrapers. You ain't got to worry about fucking dudes tapping on your window. I mean, you got to probably worry about crackheads on your fire escape. You know, there's always crackheads, but like shit like that. Like I always wanted to live in a house, but there's some downsides to living in a house. It's not as secure. You get what I'm saying? Like in an apartment building, it's hard to do shit like that. You know, like you got to be Spider-Man to climb up a window or some shit. But in a house, you know, it's easy to break into. And if you don't got the proper security, cameras, you know, strong doors. My fear is the windows because, you know, they could open the window or, you know, break the window, but you hear that. But it's just like so much shit. Unless you got bars on your window. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I do want to live in a house, but shit like that is what scares me from living in a house, bro. Because it's not too secure. You could make it secure. You could always do it, but
after a walk with her dog, a
still
woman
scary.
notices that a man has followed her into her yard. Her doorbell camera recorded the entire incident.
What a weirdo.
In the video, the woman picks up her dog and rushes inside her house after she sees the man behind her. Luckily, she locked her door because the man walks up to the house and tries to get in.
Dude got some
He tries
balls
to
on
talk to
him.
her as he wiggles the doorknob. The woman called the police, but they didn't get to her house until 15 minutes later. The man was not even arrested, as police said trespassing is only a citation and he just needs to be seen in court.
Yeah, that's why you need to
This
have
is a
guns
true
legally.
life story of what causes jinns to possess humans. For those who don't know what jinns are, they are the paranormal. They are demons. Some refer to them as evil spirits. Other religions refer these incidents as demonic possessions. Regardless of what religion you follow, a demonic possession is a thing that is mentioned in your books. This episode is not specifically a story, but I will explain the details on how possessions happen. Now remember, there are 3 causes and 4 conditions behind the jinn possession. These are the 3 causes. 1. Oppression, the rarest cause. A jinn will possess you for the simplest reason. He just doesn't like you. Number 2. Love, the ashiq jinn. A jinn can fall in love with a human and start possessing that person.
Hey, yo.
There are reasons behind this. Maybe you spend a lot of time in your house undressed, thinking no one can see you.
Nah, bro.
The jinn is actually staring at you, and some will even be attracted.
That shit is
Number
creepy.
3, unintentional harm. When you accidentally harm a jinn, an example,
How can you do that?
You poured boiling water somewhere outside, and it accidentally harmed a jinn.
I don't buy
They
that.
will seek vengeance. Now, these are the 3 causes. What about the conditions?
They're spiritual beings, so how can that
jinns
shit
possess
hurt them?
you at any time, anywhere? No. There are 4 conditions you must meet before a jinn can possess you. Condition 1, extreme anger. When you're in a state of extreme anger, you are widening the gate for a demonic possession.
I heard that before.
2, excessive fear. Same thing. When you're in a state of extreme fear of your surroundings. Condition 3, a state of excessive heedlessness, not physically, spiritually. And condition 4, pleasure. It is the state of when you are alone enjoying your desires. You know, when you do what you do while watching inappropriate content. These are the 4 conditions that you need to be in for a jinn to possess you. But these conditions aren't always the case for a demonic possession. They are the states for the jinns to possess you, and they only open a wider gate for demons to use you. Demonic possessions are real, and they are lethal, and they are not easy to treat. Jinns are predators that we cannot see.
I believe that shit is real. I don't think it's just a Hollywood movie. You know, they make a bunch of movies about demonic possession.
If you do this much, you will die. Part 2. First is gaming. If you play video games for 7 days straight, you will die. Several people have died doing this when they are completing a gaming marathon. So whatever you do, never play video games for more than 7 days.
Listen, bro, at the age I'm at now, I don't even think I could play a video game for 3 hours straight, let alone 7 days in a row. But yeah, that's something that that happens often. Like I seen those gaming cafes in Japan that's 24 hours. Some dude was literally there for mad long and died. And it was more than one incident.
Next up is time without pooping. If you go 2 weeks without pooping, you will die. It also completely depends on your
I gotta use the bathroom every day, bro. As soon as I wake up.
2 weeks. Finally is self-pleasuring yourself. You would die after going 42 times. A Brazilian teenager died from shock after going 42 times without stopping.
What?
I don't know who in their right mind would do this anyway. But
She probably was like a nympho or something, a sex addict.
But if you're one of these
That's
people,
crazy.
never go over 42 times.
And it's funny because don't the French call orgasms like the little death or some shit? Like every time you orgasm is like a death. So they might be onto something with that one, bro.
Can you do the Harbinger experiment? Warning, this story gets a tad bit disturbing, so if you're sensitive to stuff like that, now is the time to exit. The Harbinger experiment is a creepypasta story about tests done on 3 subjects to prove that supernatural phenomena exists. As you probably already guessed, these tests go extremely wrong. The experiment was conducted by a scientist called Zimmerman. He had 3 other scientists helping him with this project, one of which is the narrator of this story. In an underground chamber, as you can see, this is the entrance depicted here, Zimmerman had lured 3 test subjects into the testing building where they were each placed in their own separate confinement chambers. They were lured there under the belief that they would be engaging in a harmless isolation experiment. After the test subjects arrived, they were injected with a substance that Zimmerman had created. Little did they know that this substance would turn them from humans into monsters. Part 2's in the comments.
I don't know. That sounds far-fetched. I heard about the Russian sleep
The Harbinger
experiment.
The point of this experiment was for Zimmerman to summon beings, creatures if you will, from another realm to enter the bodies of the 3 test subjects. On the first day of the experiment, after the 3 test subjects were all put in their separate confinement chambers, Zimmerman held a meeting where he got on a loudspeaker and began chanting. Nobody knew what he was saying. It seemed as though only he knew what he was saying, and whatever he was doing seemed like a ritual of sorts. About 5 minutes after the chanting began, the ground started shaking violently, like an earthquake. And then everything stopped, including the security cameras. You see, they had set up security cameras in each of the confinement chambers so that they could monitor the test subjects. And all of the cameras went to static.
Wow.
Shortly after this, the test subjects began screaming for their lives. The screaming didn't stop for hours. It was time for the team to leave, and they were ordered to return back at 10 a.m. What they saw when they returned back horrified them.
Okay, I gotta do some research on that. I don't know if that's like a real thing, but it might be. I don't think she would talk about something if she didn't do her research on it. Now, I never heard of the Harbinger experiment before. I heard of the Russian sleep experiment, where they took a bunch of prisoners and they experimented on them, like not allowing them to sleep for a long time, and crazy shit happened with that. Like, I didn't really do too much digging up on that experiment, which I want to. But yeah, I gotta look this one up too. The Harbinger experiment sounds crazy.
The Harbinger experiment, last part.
Oh, another
Now's
one.
the time to make sure that all of your lights are off, because it's gonna get real spooky. When everybody returned at 10 o'clock the next morning, the security cameras were still all static, except for number 2. The security camera in test subject number 2's chamber showed her lifeless body. After waiting for a while, number 3's monitor turned back on, showing that test subject number 3 had turned into a humanoid. His arms now stretched down as far as his knees. There was nothing human about him anymore. He was now a monster. The security team decided to go into his chamber, and that's when he got violent. He attempted to ambush them, which resulted in the security team unaliving him, which meant that test subject number 1 was the only one left. Suddenly, in the underground chambers, music started playing. The music was coming from test subject number 1, who erupted out of his chamber, quickly unaliving everybody in his path. He was easily 10 feet tall, maybe even 15 feet. People tried to run, but in the end, they couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
This serial killer would release his victims in the woods. Also known as the Butcher Baker, Robert Christian Hansen is one of America's prolific serial killers.
Never heard of him.
Between 1971 and 1983, Hansen had abducted, raped, and murdered 17 women in Anchorage, Alaska. His sickening killing technique is that he'd let these kidnapped women let loose in the wild, only to hunt them down with his rifle.
Wow.
He'd eventually kill them using his knife. His sentence, 461 years imprisonment.
I don't understand why they even bother keeping these guys in jail, bro. Serial killers should be fucking publicly hung, shot, killed. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to live, bro. I don't get it.
If you do this
I gotta do
much,
some
you
more
will
research on
die.
that guy, though.
Part
That was
1.
crazy.
Up first is sex. If you have sex for more than 15 hours, you will die. Sex can be very dangerous, especially in older men, and it can cause heart problems. Next up is time without sleeping. If you go 11 days without sleeping, you will die. And if that's not bad enough, staying up this late can make you lose your memory, cause paranoia and hallucinations. Next up are burgers. If you eat 27 burgers, you will die. Your death will either be caused by cardiac failure, dehydration, or seizures. So if you're a burger lover, do yourself a favor and never eat 27.
I love me a good burger, but not enough to fucking eat 17 burgers back to back. Like,
Photos with disturbing backstories, PT.16.
Those stairs look scary, bro. Did they ever find his body? Maybe there was a giant up there, man. The hell is that? That's somebody. Whoa. That's creepy. Yeah, poor kid. One thing, man, if you're gonna go hiking, make sure you bring the proper supplies. Make sure you got a weapon on you. And like I done seen so many movies and true crime movies and shit like that that you always bump into some weird people, bro, in places that you wouldn't expect. So, you can't be trusting of people. I know it sucks because most people want to assume that everybody is good, but when you go into places like that and you're hiking and there's no people around for miles and miles, bro, and you bump into somebody, it might be a crazy person. You don't know, man. So, yeah, man, this was a good one, man. Y'all let me know your thoughts about this. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It's your boy $1.
For my time goes by, they gon' raise a nigga jersey in the sky. Treat a nigga right, big dreaming on my life. Shorty wanna get some air, I go and get her when I fly. Taking off on these niggas I retire. The minute I catch fire, I smoked them all before, just revisiting the high.